and you guys don't want to hear any of that stuff. I do want to keep my passages clean, and I think that's just good advice for everyone. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn around and I'm going to take a quick little break before we answer these 17 questions. And I'm going to blow my nose, and this would be a good time to hit the forward 15 seconds button. Here we go. Without further ado, let's start answering the questions. Can I get some of that question music? Doing the question. The question. Doing 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 the question. I'll now be taking questions from Twitter. Jesus Christ, man. Come on, dude. Jesse S. Longtime supporter of the show, maker of music, beautiful man, says, do your confidence ever get shaken by something you know that you're good at? I think that confidence is a waxing and waning type of a situation. Sometimes you have an abundance because of either things that happen or how things are going. If things are going really well, and things are going your way and things seem to be clicking on all cylinders. I know that if I have several good stand-up shows in a row, confidence will be all-time high. But eventually what happens is, and this is kind of my experience with stand-up, 5-10 minutes at a time, I'll get a bunch of stuff that works, and I'll do that stuff for a while, and I'll try to perfect it. And then what happens is I'll get a little tired of doing it over and over again, and I'll be like, okay, I'm sick of these. I have to put them to the side for now until they're part of a longer thing. During that time where I'm bored with the stuff that's working, I'll have to work on brand new things. And you open yourself up to a whole new world of vulnerability when I start working on new things. So here I am having a string, maybe weeks or months of good shows. And then I'm like, okay, we're going to add some new stuff in the mix, and because it's brand new, it's not gonna get the laughs that a joke that I've been working on for months or years have gotten. So you have to get used to a different level of laughter and excitement, or lack thereof, from the audience. And that could either be, the older that I get, the less that shakes my confidence. But I do recall having moments in like my stand-up career where I'm like, okay, these are my jokes. And then you try to do new ones and it's not as good. And you're like, okay, maybe those were my jokes. And maybe those were the best ones that I'll ever have. And I don't know what to do now because the jokes that I had don't work. But that's unrealistic because, you know, new things aren't going to be perfect as soon as they come out. That's why you got to cook food. Everybody knows that. So with experience comes the you recognize where, like, I recognize where my material is in its life cycle. And as much as I love getting the laughs with everything that works, if, variety is the spice of life, and I have to introduce some new stuff every once in a while, and that means it's not going to be as good. So have my confidence taken a hit in the past when things don't go as well? Absolutely. Does that happen? It feels like it happens less and less as I get older, because I could look back, which I kind of rarely do, but once in a while you take a look back, you take a deep breath and say, I've accomplished all this stuff. I know I'm not bad. It was different like 8 years ago coming out here and thinking that I was funny on the East Coast, and coming out here and seeing how funny and how seasoned everybody was. Because even, as you may or may not remember, I don't know how long you've been watching or following me, but things online were going really well on the East Coast before I moved out to LA, and my videos were doing really well, and I thought I was funny, and I thought I was good at music, and I was pretty good at stuff. I wasn't bad at stuff, but you come out here and you realize how much better everybody is by comparison and proximity if you're in a real bustling city. And over the past 8 years, my confidence has been shaken a bunch of times. Another thing that comes with age is whenever your confidence gets shaken, or mine personally, can you tell I'm trying desperately not to be like, you, this is what happens to you, because I don't know what happens to you. I'm trying to give you my experience and see where we relate. It's good to be checked. Me and Zoja talk about this all the time. Me and my friends, especially from the East Coast, talk about this. You got to be checked at certain points of your life, and you can't fly too high and you can't go too low, because they're not realistic. But you came out here, thought I was funny, and you get checked and you get sent back down. So the next time you rise up and you think you're funny, it was more real to me every time I got confidence. And I feel like every time I was at an all-time high, even though it kind of waxes and wanes and you kind of ride that wave, a little more of it stuck each and every time, because I'm like, I'm older, I have more experience, I know that I'm straight up not delusional and bad at something that I think I'm good at. As long as you have that baseline confidence, it's like Tetris. You could always add on the baseline confidence. Then once in a while, one of the long vertical ones comes and wipes 5 lines out. But feeling pretty good, and I felt good for a long time, and very thankful for that. I had another stand-up comedy friend of mine just start going back out to hang out at the clubs and stuff like that. It's part of the job is that, there's the doing of it and there's the writing of it, and then there's just hanging out, because people book people who are around and who are in front of them. So a little piece of advice for any aspiring stand-up comedians out there: you got to be around as much as you have to be good. And I could tell that she's not super happy with her jokes at the moment, and she says her performances are just kind of going all right. And I'm like, dude, even if you don't have shows, going out several days in a row, and there are examples of this you could apply to many other jobs that aren't just stand-up. The more you do something and make the skill that you want to develop part of your daily routine, the more you're going to be better, and you're going to feel it, or not even feel it, and just progressively get better at it if you know you're doing it a little bit every day. And it just kind of happens. The more you force yourself to do stuff, and to really forcing yourself into practice, makes you more confident in your skills. And then you can apply those skills to situations and see how much better you've gotten than when you first picked the thing up, whether it be a hobby or an actual physical thing. And that's very nice. And that holds true with photography or music, especially music. My goodness. I was never good at like scales or soloing, because I never did it that much. I was always like acoustic chords guy. And even with the band, I would solo a little bit in the studio, but what's that, like once in the 3-year lifespan of the band? So I was never the solo guy, because it never happened. I'm sure if I was in a cover band or something where I was practicing solos all the time, it would have happened more. Same thing with cooking, or really fucking any skill. Just force yourself to practice and you'll get better. And when you get better, your confidence goes up. Little nose blow now. Goat in the garden, bat in the cave.